Today, the state of Hinduism is a matter of grave concern among many, and not without reason. Over the decades, centuries, and millennia, Hinduism has been shrinking faith geographically and numerically. Some of the religions of foreign origin have been constantly encroaching upon the territory of Hinduism. The trend of Hindus converting to other faiths is not abating, and that's causing a great concern. The reason for conversion is not just the offering of inducement by those people of other faiths. Yes, this is one of the main reasons, but there are other factors also. The main factor is that the Hindu of today is not aware of their faith, and they have no pride, therefore, in their faith. But who is going to tell them about their faith and the qualities of their faith? Because even the most educated layers of Hinduism are spiritually and religiously almost illiterate. They know nearly nothing about their faith, the traditions. This was not the case earlier. Earlier, every home had a Ramayana and a Gita, and they were reading it every day. So they were different people. But after independence, times came when the special variation of secularism prevailed, and they deprived our children from knowing about their faith in the schools and colleges. And over a period of time, these new generations have completely lost touch with their faith. One of the main reasons of why this is happening, shrinking of the faith, is that we don't have a qualified and numerically strong clergy. If we take Islam, for example, we know that every year they churn out about 25,000 Hafiz and Alims. Hafiz means a person who has memorized Quran Sharif completely. And an Alim is a person who can explain the ayats or the verses of Quran Sharif in detail to people. So 25,000 Hafiz and Alim are being produced at least every year. So imagine how many must have been produced over the last 10 years and 40 years. Over the last 40 years, at least 10 lakh Hafiz and Alims have been produced. India has 6 lakh plus villages. So they have a Hafiz or an Alim for every village. Hinduism, on the other hand, does not have any qualified cadre of preachers. A Panditji means a person who can somehow perform the sacraments, rituals, rites after death or for marriage, etc. And he doesn't know much of the scriptures. He has never seen the Vedas, he has never read the Upanishads, he has never read the Bhagavad Gita, he doesn't know about the Agam Shastras, he doesn't know about the Puranas. He may be probably knowing something about Rama's life, that's a story, but he is not a qualified person really. He doesn't know about Hinduism really. And very few Pandits are really trained in some institutions. Most of them have learnt it on their own somewhere for livelihood. With these people, how do you expect to compete with the faiths of foreign origin who have very well trained preachers in lakhs? It's like an untrained army of people fighting well armed invaders. How would they win? They can't win. Therefore, the first priority that we have is to raise a new crop, fresh crop of dharmacharyas, not panditjis. Dharmacharya means they would know about religion, they would know about Sanatana Dharma properly. Therefore, how to put in place an infrastructure to raise this new crop, new cadre of dharmacharyas is another matter we will discuss separately. Today, I wish to enlighten you on the need for a curriculum that would be comprehensive and suited to the new era. What is that curriculum like? It has many components, many chapters. All sects of Sanatana Dharma, Shaivas, Vaishnavas, uh, Shaktas, they all acknowledge that we have the human life has four principal goals. They call it Purusharthas: Artha, Dharma, Kama, Moksha. Now, Artha means wealth, money. Poverty is not promoted here. Everybody should have enough wealth to eke out a good living. Second is Dharma. They should not eke out an existence based on unethical principles. So, Dharma should be there. And Dharma is a conglomeration of many things, practical and theoretical. So, Dharma should be known to them. He should lead a life consonant with Dharma. Then Kama. Kama is related to carnal pleasures and is not the domain of temples and the priests. Then moksha. Now, what do we mean by this? We mean by this that the new crop of dharmacharyas should be well versed in the main scriptures of Hinduism. They must know all the four Vedas. They must have studied thoroughly the 11 Upanishads. They must be thorough in Bhagavad Gita. They should have read the Puranas, at least one Vaishnava Purana, Bhagavad Purana, one Shaiva Purana, one Shakta Purana, and the Garuda Purana, and generally other Puranas. They must have read the main Smritis. They must have read the main Agam Shastras. So this is the Dharma scripture part of it. And then the Anushtan part, the Karma Kanda part of it, which means that performing of rites and rituals, they must also learn. But knowing about Sanatana Dharma is not enough today. They must know about other faiths also. Therefore, the second part must be comparative religion. Knowledge of all the other faiths, their strengths, their weaknesses. Learn from their strengths and avoid those weaknesses. Then you learn your own weakness and strength. Avoid the weaknesses, try to address the weaknesses, and augment your strength. So this is comparative religion. The third is moksha part. Dharma is good for life, leading an ethical life, a pious life. But then moksha means liberation from suffering, liberation from the cycle of birth and death, and therefore from all suffering forever. Now, this is a separate discipline altogether. The dharmic anushthanas or studying of the Vedas or Upanishads may not be sufficient. We have to extract from those shastras the science of Adhyatma Vidya or Moksha Vidya. For Moksha Vidya, they have to intensively study the Karma Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Japa Yoga, Ishwar Dhyanastha Deha Tyaga Yoga. These are the things concerned with moksha or liberation. So this is the third part, moksha. The fourth part is language, Sanskrit, English, and the appropriate in Indian languages, because we should not think them in terms of only India. Indians are settled abroad in many countries. They will also like that we provide them with properly trained dharmacharyas. Then, if you're competing with the faiths of foreign origin, and they have in such great numbers, they are preachers, so well trained, they remember the Shastra scripture fully. So you have to compete with them properly. So it is not enough to teach our clergy just religion and moksha vidya. We have to go beyond that. And what's that special point? That's arth. They will get trained from class 5 till the graduation stage, acharya stage. So there are so many years, 8, 10, 12 years. During these years, they should also be given enough input to become guides for livelihood generation. When they go to a village, they should be able to attract the youth. They should be able to train them or counsel them or guide them for competitive examinations. They should tell them about the job opportunities in the private sector and the government sector and the competitive examinations for them. They should tell them if they want to become plumbers or electricians, vocational trades, they should be able to guide them. They should be able to guide the farmers about the latest technology and techniques in farming so that they can do better farming. They should be able to guide women about arts and crafts so that they can set up small industries. If this economic part is also put in the curriculum, we will have a highly empowered clergy. And when such trained people go to the temples of a village, the entire youth, women, and everybody will be attracted towards them because they will not be just giving you reveries. They will give pravachan, they will give you jnana, knowledge, spiritual knowledge, guide you about moksha. And then, along with those things, they will also tell you how to build your life holistically, the economic part of it. So, dharma, moksha, and arth, three of the principal goals of life, they should be able to address and take care of the followers of Hinduism. This will make the temples a throbbing center of holistic life development, and they will have a clear edge over the priestly class of other faiths. But this is also not sufficient. Our clergy should be aware of all the international conventions and laws in India and other countries about minorities, about children, about women, about conversions, about the right to preach right to spread their own faith. This part is not taken care of today in the training given to the Panditjis. And there are other miscellaneous things like contemporary geopolitical situation and the world affairs, because they have to go worldwide and they must be aware of what's happening in the world over what's happening. I gave you an overview of the proposed curriculum for the clergy, which we are going to circulate to other saints also, other sects also, so that we come out with a more comprehensive and well considered picture, whereafter we shall send it to the government for also doing the needful. But the government in a secular state cannot do much about these things. They can only provide a legal or that kind of a support structure. But we have to operate as Hindu ourselves. We have to team up. We have to come together and see that a good infrastructure is raised, and these priestly class comes up within the next 8 years or so to take care of all the temples of the country in a very efficient way, and to remove the spiritual illiteracy of the Hindus, and of course to serve the nation and humanity.